Marbles have flown in from around the globe. They have put an end to their training regimens because the peak of marble racing is here. This is Season 6 of Marbula One. We come for the third time to Sakura Garden, the home of the Pinkies, to kick off our season in what is sure to be dramatic fashion. This race has given us some great ones over time, and I'm thrilled to be back up here, surrounded by the best fans in the business. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. Shout out to some of those fans who are also Marble sponsors. Yes, you can sponsor your favorite Marble or team. Click on the link in the description if you are interested. The Pinkies are packed in the stands. They are ready for a race. Where will their representative, Pinky Panther, finish? Panther starts in 5th today. Also, get ready. This is the new spectacle in at-home marble racing. This is the Hyperloop. With infinite possibilities, stackable pieces, multiple layouts, you can bring the excitement and the thrill of Marbula One inside your living room. Send your favorite teams down this course, see where they finish. Get yours today. Check it out on the website, yellowsmarbleruns.com. We take a peek inside of race control. They don't know what we're about to see. This track has given us some great racing over time, from the drop, the banking, the backstretch. Who knows what will happen in just a few moments' time. Quasar and Mimo get us started on the grid at the back. Radiance and Snowstorm. Remus and Shimmer. Or the Shining Swarm, one of the new teams that we will talk about. Lots of changes coming into this season. Diamond and Meepo. Bumble and Mallard just outside of the top 10. Eve for the Midnight Wisps in 10th. Behind Razzie for the Raspberry Racers. Indy for the Indigo Stars lines up alongside Speedy for the Savage Speeders. Nerid for the Oceanics, and the hometown Pinky Panther in 5th. Origin, the Orangers. On the outside of the second row next to Yellow, and on the front, Yellow Eye, denied a pole position by Cloudy from the Hazers. In the blocks, ready to go to start the season. And we're rolling from Marbula One, Season 6. And what a start by Pinky Panther. Briefly up into second place and now loses back to third. But what a great start, and the fans are going crazy. Yellow Eye gets by the Hazers at the drop, heading into the hairpin. Cloudy fights back and retakes P1. There's Speedy up into third as they sweep through that chicane. We're going to have 3 wide farther back. The Pinky Panther is one of them as they come off of the conveyor belt for the first time. Indigo Stars also getting in the mix there, but too many marbles in that twisty first sector. Cloudy with some space up front. Yellow Eye having to deal with Origin right behind, and now Origin is peeking back over the shoulder at Pinky Panther, who is looking very fast. And now here comes Origin, trying to catch the draft. You can see Yellow Eye weaving back and forth to break it. Coming back there over the line. Shimmer and Mimo at the back of the pack. On the outside move goes Origin, up into second place. Pinky Panther is still holding tight in there. Around the banking. There's Yellow Eye looking to the inside, but Origin closes the door, but a great acceleration. Contact between the top 2. It's a top 3 race now. They are 1 length apart. Cloudy managed to hold on after a charge went square into his back. Origin again gets by Yellow Eye, the top 3, switching by the corner. Now Yellow Eye goes to the inside, not there, has to go to the outside and bails out. Loses momentum and does not lose a position, however. Hard into the wall goes Cloudy and tumbles down the order. They've been doing such a good job of avoiding the walls on that backstretch, but not there for Cloudy. And the Hazers pay for it. Origin inherits the lead. Yellow Eye wants it though. Has seen the opportunity. Pinky Panther is now in a podium position, but still a lot of this race to go. 2/3 left. Yellow Eye muscles by. Pinky Panther senses an opportunity, but Speedy is right there to complicate things. Look at how tight the back of the pack is. That's a 5 marble race. We've got a new fastest lap from Snowstorm, 21:09. Side by side, they go into the drop, and who comes out of it first? It's Orion, but the top 3 are 1 length apart again. This time it's Pinky Panther, also right in there, trying to get better acceleration off of that hairpin. Around the sweep. That chicane causing some issues. We get a new fastest lap. Orion, 29.3 at the front, but it's not enough. There's Yellow Eye ready to pounce. A momentary hesitation coming over the start line, and Yellow Eye is by. Great move there, Cloudy through the banking. You may have just seen it off the edge of the screen, but couldn't make it stick. Pinky Panther does, though. Out of the hairpin, an excellent backstretch. Pinky Panther is 4/10 behind and is trying to take the lead and win in front of the home crowd. Past the halfway point of this Grand Prix to start off Season 6 of Marbula One. Yellow Eye trying to maintain the lead now. There's Orion. Ooh, late move. Contact between them. Could not get it done. Farther back, there's the Wolfpack's Remus making some moves. We get a new fastest lap, and that goes to Mallard, sitting in 11th spot. Orion is right there on the outside of Pinky Panther, drafts by into second place right before the drop. Can Pinky Panther fight back through the banking and heading into the hairpin? That's been a very strong point of the track for Pinky Panther, and is gaining. Oh, nearly went side by side. Had to back out. That one could have been a big incident if discretion was not the better part of valor. Yellow Eye got a 10-15 length lead. It's growing by the corner. Here's Orion in second place with now Pinky Panther and Bumble right there. Cloudy is also joining the mix. A slow start to the sector for Yellow Eye, and Pinky Panther's right there to the outside through the chicane. Pinky Panther takes the lead, and Sakura Garden erupts. Can Pinky Panther hold it? A team with a new lineup this year. Pinky Toe replaced by Pinky Rosa. Pinky Panther still saying, I deserve to be on this team, and I'm proving it here. Orion, had a better launch from the hairpin, but hit the wall. Yellow Eye is pushing that marble forward, 1 step behind our leader, Pinky Panther, with just a few laps to go. New fastest lap goes to Cloudy. Pinky Panther feeling the pressure now. Orion right there. Orion so strong through the first and the start of the second sector. To the inside through the drop, and Orion has P1. Here comes Cloudy, also trying to get in the draft of Pinky Panther. Side by side they are, bumping into each other. Coming up the conveyor belt, now a bit of space. Yellow Eye has fallen off with Bumble down there in 5th. Speedy in 6th, near it, Quasar, Indigo, and Mallard rounding out the top 10. But all eyes here in Rosaka are up front in this battle between the O'Rangers and the Pinkies. Down the backstretch they come, weaving again. 1 step apart, just a little over a 10th. Orion versus Pinky Panther. 2 laps to go, and Pinky Panther does it. Hard contact coming off of the conveyor belt. Cloudy tries to pounce. Orion has been left in the dust, lost a lot of momentum at the contact. Cloudy goes to the inside. The door is shut. Goes to the outside here and gets by with 1 lap to go. Cloudy trying to deny the Pinkies a home victory. Cloudy, our pole sitter. What can Pinky Panther do? Bumble is also in 3rd. Got by Yellow Eye. Through the drop and the banking for the final time. It's a comfortable lead for Cloudy. Out of the hairpin, this may be Pinky's last chance. Cloudy says, not today. Cloudy for the Hazers wins the opening Grand Prix of Season 6 of Marbula One. Yellow Eye, an incredible final lap to claim 2nd place over Bumble, and a heartbreak for the Pinkies, who not only do not win, but they do not podium either. The team on the radio congratulating Cloudy, whose defensive move at the start kept everybody behind. That could have been the undoing. Pinkies excellent on that backstretch. Different strategies being employed. That's where Yellow Eye came undone briefly and then manages to bring it right back. Cloudy gets by. That was the decisive move of the race. And watch Yellow Eye in fourth, in third, and now in second. It wasn't just an incredible last lap. It was an incredible third sector and final corners. Unreal. Cloudy for the Hazers. Wins it at Sakura Garden. For Cloudy, that is the third win in that Marble's career after its second pole position. And here are the final results. Cloudy, also neglected to say, captured fastest lap. That is an extra point, so 26 on offer for the now championship leader in front of Yellow Eye, Bumble, Pinky Panther. Good points haul, but a disappointing fourth in front of Speedy, Orion, Indy, and Quasar. For the team standings, Hazers are up front. Remember, pole position also worth 3 points. That is a maximum points haul for the Hazers in weekend number 1 for Marbula One. It's about as fine a start as you could possibly have. Can they keep the momentum going forward as we head next to the Savage Speedway? The site of the first ever Marbula One race sees the sport return for round number 2 here in Season 6 of the peak of marble racing. This is the Savage Speedway, and this is Marbula One. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. 17 race laps await in our 4th trip to the Savage Speedway, a track that has thrown us some interesting finishes, blindingly fast. Yeah, the music isn't the only thing with higher pace. Such a fun track to go to. The fans love coming here. The home of speed, Savage Speed to be exact. Season 1 saw Clementon, who is still the lap record holder, get pole position. After that, it was Red Eye 2 times, but that streak has been broken. Winners include Starry, Red Eye, and Snowy. Taking a look at our starting grid. Stinger and former winner and fastest lap setter Snowy at the back of the field. Ember and Clementon. Also, Clementon first ever pole position here back in the first trip. Starry and Swifty. Diego and Glimmer. Amaya and Pinky Rosa bringing us up to the edge of the top 10. Then it's Sheep in 10th next to Ruzzy. Club and Cerulean. On the outside of row 3, it is Smoggy and Momo, Siren and Red Eye. Starting behind our front row of Billy and pole sitter Yeller for Mellow Yellow. And we're rolling. Down they go, and Yeller covers the field. Billy in second place. Red Eye has dropped and is now recovered. Marbles were quivering in the starting blocks before they dropped. Through the banking for the first time. Over-under move by Billy. Gets the lead. Yeller tries to come right back. There's Siren also in the mix, but hits the wall and goes backwards. Red Eye up into P2. Red Eye with an incredible start, especially in that third sector. Pinky Rosa also come up to third, Glimmer into fourth as they dive down through. Red Eye goes to the outside and takes the lead. Gets the plaudits from the pit wall and is cheering back at him. Let's go, Red Eye says. Glimmer in second place. They weave down the backstretch for the second time. Fastest lap goes to Smoggy back in third spot. Our pole sitter falling back to fourth. Red Eye comes through with now Smoggy up into second place. We got that fastest lap through the drop. They all go to the outside on that one. At least most of the top runners did. Pinky Rosa's fallen back to seventh in the meantime. Red Eye, quick peek over the shoulder. Checks the gap to Smoggy. Oh, and Smoggy has trouble getting onto the conveyor belt. perhaps watching Red Eye too closely, and stumbled coming onto it. Lost a couple of positions, but were hit forward and got it right back. Near disaster for Smoggy. You see the different lines being taken there. Glimmer, once again, doing a great job. Up at the front of this course, and has hung in there all throughout. Pinky Rosa back in 4th. Starry, Ruzzy, Yeller, Club, Momo, and Siren rounding out the top 10. The Savage Speeders' home hopes with Swifty lie down in 14th. Red Eye off into the distance, putting in the fastest lap when needed, and look at Ruzzy. Wow! Come up into 3rd spot and challenging for 2nd, but now loses out down the straightaway. Swifty is also trying to come forward and has made it up to 11th. There is the gap in real time that you see for our leader, Red Eye. 3rd of the way through this Grand Prix. Down the drop they come. The speed builds very quickly here, as is designed by some members of the Savage Speeders. They were the ones who created this track back when the concept of Marbula One was first becoming a reality. Red Eye's lead is over 1.5 seconds. Smoggy, Starry, Ruzzy, and Pinky Rosa. Ruzzy in the middle of a train up there, trying to get by Pinky Rosa, who's holding back the floodgates. Smoggy in 2nd, challenged by Starry, but now gets some breathing room. Through the double right-hander they come. Look at all the marbles taking different lines, some collisions down the backstretch. Momo is in there, Ruzzy is in there, falling back to 7th. Cerulean in 6th. Glimmer has fallen down to 5th. Midfield is incredibly tight right now. A couple of wrong moves and you're going backward, like the likes of Siren and Club, who have fallen out of the top 10 and are now trying to get back in. Positions switching all the time. Marbles catching drafts down that backstretch. Most having an easy time getting onto the conveyor belt, the occasional misstep. Also a lot of marbles going to the outside there. I think Diego is one of the few that went to the inside at that split right before the drop. There is Yeller, you see in the center of your screen, in the mix, going high up on the curbs, trying to hold on to a top 10, and is right now barely doing it. Oh, we've got collisions at the back there. Ruzzy continues to tumble, and adding insult to injury, could not get onto the conveyor belt, took a few hits, and finally got going again, but down in 16th. Clementon also, former success here at the Savage Speedway, down in 18th. Ember and Stinger bringing up the rear of the field. It's still Red Eye out in front and reset fastest lap. Once again, trouble for Ruzzy onto the belt. Gained and lost. Red Eye is doing an absolutely commanding job out front. Exactly what you would expect from a marble like Red Eye, but still, a 3rd of this Grand Prix to go. There is Swifty getting some cheers from the Savage Speeders. Got in front of Billy, who was up front for quite a while and is now also dropped back. Starting positions are not necessarily advantageous here at the Savage Speedway. It's working out well for Red Eye, who started up toward the front of the field. But others are slicing and dicing their way up and down. There's Glimmer getting by. Takes 3rd place as they head over the conveyor belt, and Smoggy has reset fastest lap. Still, Red Eye's lead is over 2 seconds. It is still anybody's race from 3rd on back right now. Those two silver-gray marbles, Starry and Glimmer, continuing to battle. They try to go side by side, but a drift down the backstretch closes the door. Glimmer keeps that position. Now off the conveyor belt, trouble hitting the walls. Starry up there and getting by. And Glimmer will not let that marble go quietly, still trying to hang there exactly roll for roll. Once again down the backstretch, the top 3 finally spread out just a little bit. Smoggy holding up there. Glimmer in 4th, fighting with Starry. Cerulean 5th, Siren 6th, Yeller, our pole sitter, down in 7th. Sheep for the Wolfpack in 8th as we get our new check for split times. And Red Eye's lead has come down by a few tenths. It is still almost 1.7. Big gap back. We get a new fastest lap in the meantime. Smoggy continues to chip away. There at the back, that is Stinger and Clementon now fighting for that last position. Not where the O'Rangers thought they would be. Up front, here is Red Eye beginning the final lap. Clementon, nice draft down the backstretch. Red-Eye through the drop and the banking for the final time. Red-Eye, desperate to continue the march through history. Red-Eye wins again at the Savage Speedway. The 8th win of that Marble's career. Smoggy gets second, Starry in third. Yeller recovered back up to fourth. And also good recovery coming from the pit wall to Swifty. Managed to somehow get back up into the top 10 and secure some points. What a race this was from the start, all throughout. Just incredible how close the midfield was. Look at as they dive through Sector 1, those switchbacks. Unbelievable, and Starry doing a lot of work out there. Red-Eye, the only racer in Marbula One history never to miss a podium at the end of the season. 3-time champion. Trying to start the run for number 4. And I would say that title defense is going pretty well here in round number 2. Also working pretty well for the Hazers. They had a perfect weekend points-wise last week, and they returned to the podium again in 2nd place. Let's see what this does to the overall standings. Smoggy gets an extra point for capturing fastest lap. How about Starry? 16th up to 3rd. Good reason for that marble to get Marble of the Day. The Hazers lead the championship by just 2 points over Crazy Cat's Eyes. Team Galactic up 5. How about Mellow Yellow up 8? And Shining Swarm up 10. Well, now that everybody has raced once, we look at the standings for the individual. And unsurprisingly, that perfect weekend remains the mark to beat. Has not been done by anybody else yet, but it's tighter up top than you might imagine. Only 2 Grand Prix through this 10-race season. Still a lot of chapters to be written as we head to Sparkle Central next. With a new track comes high expectations, setting the bar early on. In the home of the Shining Swarm, we are welcome to Sparkle Central, a brand new track making its Marbula One debut. Hello everybody, I'm Greg Woods, the Shining Swarm. They won the 2025 Showdown. They have not won in Marbula One before, but they would love to do it on home soil. It's going to be a battle if qualifying is anything to go off of. Those 3 laps that we saw in the Q2 shootout yesterday, this track could be something special. All the Shining Swarm fans, they know that already though. Set amidst the high-rise, everything glimmering all around us. Shining Swarm gracious hosts, some even airborne, looking down on their home track with pride. Stands are packed. An inaugural Grand Prix will do that for you. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Mimo and Yellow on the back of the lineup on different teams, despite what I may have said. Billy and Clementon, I joke. Coming up next, Ember and Sheep as we work our way up to 15th. Pinky Rosa in 14th, next to Diamond from the Blackjacks. Quasar and Razzie. Leading us into the top 10, it is Yellow Eye, runner-up from Sakura Garden, and Shimmer. Stinger and Siren back on row 4. Amaya and Meepo. On the second row, it is Smoggy from the Hazers and Snowstorm from the Snowballs. Up front, Indy from the Indigo Stars, and our pole sitter, Swifty for the Savage Speeders. And we're rolling. A slow start for Swifty at the front and gets swarmed, loses 2 spots. Oh, but a really hard impact stops Mimo in its tracks. Not sure who caused that collision, but Mimo was absolutely stationary. Indigo Stars are leading the way, but around the outside, there goes Stinger, but can't hold it through turn 14. That final turn has some banking to it, and it's a different animal compared to some of the other ones, but Stinger is much better coming off of the conveyor belt. Pinky Rosa is up there in a battle with Snowstorm. Those 2 nearly identical marbles weaving back and forth, and here comes Snowstorm to the outside. Can't get it done there. Stinger manages to hold the spot. The top 3 bumping up against each other. This is incredibly close. Brand new racetrack, you don't know what you're going to get. And right now, it is anybody's race. Stinger is trying desperately to keep those marbles back behind Pinky Rosa, aided by fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Smoggy tried to get into the mix, moves up into 3rd spot. Excellent by Snowstorm to take the lead coming out of that chicane. We wondered if that would be a key passing opportunity on this track, and so far it seems to be. New fastest lap, Smoggy from the Hazers, the championship leaders, who captured every point possible back at Sakura Garden for a single marble that you could do. Pole, fastest lap, and race win. Great view coming into that chicane. You can see the speed that they carry and how much they have to slow down. In a battle back there, Stinger has fallen back to 6th and was in a duel coming through the banking. Meanwhile, it is Snowstorm from Smoggy. Meepo has worked up to 3rd for the Cobalts. Indigo Stars 4th. Pinky Rosa. Amaya, Stinger, Siren, Ember, and Swifty, our pole sitter, falling all the way back to 10th, and there was a hard impact that sent Yellow Eye backwards. Clementon complaining on the radio, Yellow Eye just crashed into the back of me. Not sure race control will see it quite that way, given all the contact that's happening here. Indy could not make it stick. Very close. It was a desperate lunge, but it's still right back on the attack through the final turn. 1 spot back on the conveyor belt. Smoggy, another couple of tenths behind. Then Meepo and Amaya. Off the belt, Snowstorm managing. Snowstorm seems to be a bit stronger through the 2nd and 3rd sectors. So if anything, that 1st sector offers the greatest opportunity for the overtake. Looking toward the back of the pack, Yellow Eye has fallen down to 17th. Quasar in 18th. Diamond and Nemo are back there as well. Indy has fastest lap, trying to get closer to Snowstorm, but there is Smoggy, which means that Indy cannot fully focus on the race up front. Marbles seem to be settling into a rhythm now in the halfway point of this Grand Prix. Shimmer has dropped to 12th. Battle for the lead is back on. Contact again. Snowstorm and Indy. This time it's Indy who slows down. Could that make that marble vulnerable to Pinky Rosa coming from behind, who has gotten by Smoggy? Out of the chicane, there is Yellow Eye trying to make a move on Yellow. Clementon gets by Ember through the final corner. New fastest lap that's been reset. Swifty is back on the charge. Swifty up to 6th place now, attempting to dispatch Amaya. We saw Amaya having to go defensive down that straightaway. Snowstorm, Indy, Smoggy, and it's Indy and Smoggy who are very close together right now. Coming onto the conveyor belt, Smoggy, Pinky Rosa, and Amaya. They're also right there, 800ths between Pinky Rosa and Amaya. Snowstorm, peek over the shoulder. Pinky Rosa trying to set something up with Smoggy. Down this backstretch, single file as they head into the chicane. The lead has grown for Snowstorm. That battle for 3rd is heating up, however. Also, probably the mid-pack on down is also still incredibly close. Meepo gets by Swifty as they come off the conveyor belt. Swifty still holding fastest lap. 1/4 of this Grand Prix left. Oh, the move happened and was undone. That lunge could not stick for Pinky Rosa, but the battle is still ongoing. An over-under that briefly looked successful, and contact through Sector 1. Pinky Rosa is by. Let's see what Pinky Rosa can do to cut into this lead of Snowstorm. Took a look at a battle between Sheep and Diamond back there. Big cheer farther behind, and Snowstorm and Pinky Rosa are as close as they have been. Slightly different lines down the backstretch. Wondering who is going to try something and where. It is a half a second lead for Snowstorm, a couple of laps remaining. Pinky Rosa in second, Indy, Smoggy, Billy up to fifth, Amaya, Swifty, Meepo down to eighth, Stinger all the way up to ninth, and Razzie in 10th. Yellow Eye has also recovered from the back of the pack, now up to 11th. Hazers once again making some moves. Seems like we say that every single Grand Prix so far in this season. Smoggy is up to third as we begin the final lap. Oh, and we've got a yellow flag. Sounded like a curb has been dislodged. Most of the field is going to be working their way past it right now, but the battle for the lead is ongoing. Half a lap to go. Snowstorm, Pinky Rosa. Snowstorm crosses the line and wins the first ever race at Sparkle Central. Pinky Rosa gets P2 and Marble of the Day. Snowstorm absolutely thrilled. So much action over the course of this Grand Prix, from lights out all the way to finish. And it leads to Snowstorm winning for the second time in Marbula One. Here is Indy briefly getting past, but fighting right back. Sheep, Ember, Yellow Eye. Look at how hard they're hitting that curb coming into the chicane. First time at a track, you really don't know how hard to send it. And it took them a few laps to really settle in. But I can tell you, the home of the Shining Swarm is a welcome place for Marbula One. Snowstorm stands atop the podium. Pinkies and Hazers standing on either side. And how about the Hazers' run for consistency over the course of this season? Cloudy getting pole position, fastest lap, and the win back at Sakura Garden. Smoggy getting the fastest lap and second place at Savage Speedway a week ago. In the team standings, unsurprisingly, it is the Hazers. Out front, 15 over Crazy Cat's Eyes. Pinky's in third. Savage Speeders, and how about Snowballs, up 13 spots with that win and bonus point, setting themselves up for a run at the podium, but it's still really early. Midnight Wisps also up 5. Mellow Yellow down 6. Rangers down 4. Still so much to play for. We're only a third of the way through this season. How are your teams doing? Who do you think will make a run for the championship later on? Or who do you think is really due for an excellent result? Next up, we return to the Aquamaring. For the second year running, we return to the home of the Oceanics, the Aquamaring, the site of Yellep's infamous drop off the course, the ramp coming off of the slow turn 8, the quick chicane, the S flowing turns, moving you back and forth like waves on the ocean. This is a track that races very well. And in 2 visits, we've had 2 different winners, 2 different fastest lap, and 2 different pole positions. That has continued so far this year, at least with pole position. We'll see about the race win. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. The Oceanics did not qualify well yesterday, but they are optimistic that they can turn it around with some good luck at their home track. I mentioned breaking those streaks. The first time we came here was back in Season 2. Red Eye got the race win and fastest lap, and Red Eye is up there again. Don't forget to check out the other merchandise on YellisMarbleRuns.com, including the OG, the Skyway Chase set. Let's look at the starting grid. Championship leader Hazers back in dead last, next to Savage Speeders. They're in the top 4 of the standings. Remus and Pinky Panther, Nerid for the home team, and Snowy, Radiance, and Momo, who have yet to score any points this season. Glimmer and Mallard. Row 5, Diego and Starry. Origin and Eve. Origin, a past winner here a season ago. Yeller and Ruzzy. Cerulean and Bumble. And on the front row, Club, next to our pole sitter, Red Eye. And we're rolling, and it's not a great start for Club, who gets shoved to the outside and loses 2-3 positions. The lead has changed up top, albeit briefly. Bumble got in front, but now Red Eye fights back immediately as they go into the drop. Ruzzy is up into second place, goes to the inside along with Bumble, and Red Eye is absolutely swarmed down to 5th in a single sector. I think that caught Red Eye napping. Let's see if that marble responds. But Club out in the front of the field, lays a slight block down on Ruzzy. Switches, goes to the inside along with most of the top 5, but Ruzzy, who went around the outside, gets the better launch and takes the lead as they come through the chicane. Red Eye still holding in 5th. Bumble, Cerulean, Club, and now Club up at the front of the field. They fight back, and Club has retaken the top spot only to see Cerulean get by, and on the outside, there goes Bumble. Red Eye up into 4th, stalking. Club, excellent launch off of the chicane. This lap is not over until it is over. Oh, and we see trouble getting onto the conveyor belt back there. That was Nerid. You hear the groan. Snowy got fastest lap a while back, and the team radioing in fastest lap. Podium's possible if you keep up this pace. Talk about pace. Here is Red Eye back up into 2nd spot. Club trying to wrestle that position away. And difficulty onto the conveyor belt. Red Eye captures the opportunity and captures P1 again. A momentary lapse. That 3rd sector is incredibly frenetic. You blink, and all of a sudden, several corners have gone by, and you've lost the lead, just like Red Eye has done right here. Snowy. That marble is charging forward. Another fastest lap, but can't get away. Red Eye exits the conveyor belt, and contact between them sends Snowy backwards into the clutches of Club, who passes for 2nd place. Now Club, strong through the 3rd sector always. Can't get by through the hairpin. That banked hairpin, turn 11. Quite a section. Club and Snowy locked in a battle here. Ruzzy trying to inch forward. Now Club had a go at Red Eye. That's not a great place to pass, at least for that particular marble. Into the banking, settling into a rhythm now. Not so for Club and Snowy. They're going to be 1 step apart. Who gets the better launch? Pretty even. In the switchbacks, Snowy gets by, now looks to the outside, now back to the inside. Red Eye, perhaps surprised. Once again, Snowy, resurgent in the 3rd. Didn't reset fastest lap there, but that was a good one. Let's see if they take different lines, and once again, the over-under. I think it's less of a move to take the lead and more of a difference in line between those 2 marbles as they come off of the conveyor belt. Neither one is changing all that much. They are content to let that move happen. Let's see if it does again. Nope, too far back this time. Past the midway point of this Grand Prix, taking a check. It is Red Eye in front by a good margin now, but the gaps close quickly. Then it's Snowy. Radiance has gotten by Club, Mallard, Yeller, Ruzzy, Starry, Cerulean, and Bumble rounding out the top 10. Nerid for the home team still back in dead last. Origin in 19th, Eve in 18th. Savage Speeders have come up to 16th. Snowy still holding on to fastest lap. And that would be a good climb for that marble. Team had radioed in earlier and said podium is possible, and a couple of steps closer to Red Eye. Let's see what kind of release Snowy gets. Not too bad, but too far back. Red Eye, interestingly, going defensive through that split. A lot of the marbles doing the same. That is a deceptively slow corner, turn 8, before that drop. You really have to be set up cleanly in order to take advantage of that long straightaway heading into the chicane. Orion struggling to make any progress. Orion sat back in 19th right now. The team tells that marble to keep pushing. Still a few laps to go, but it is looking difficult for Orion. Up front, Red Eye is managing the pace right now. Radiance is doing a great job, holding in third position. There we take a look at Radiance. 2 yellow marbles behind that is Bumble and Yeller. They close up. The 3 come together. They all go to the inside on the split. Down the backstretch. Bumble gets out of sorts. Comes together with Yeller. That lets Club back in the mix. Pinky Panther is also there in 7th. A few laps to go. We take a peek at the lead for Red Eye, and it has grown incrementally. A lot of marbles taking that preferred line of going to the inside now. The lead up front. Steady. Snowy in 2nd. Happy to take some points from it. Snowballs are sitting in 5th in the standings. They came up 13 after the last race. They are a team on the move. Red Eye's lead is over a 1.5 seconds. Another second back to Yeller. The entire field separated by a little over 10 seconds, it looks like. Yes, 11.5. That accordion effect, it looks closer as they come into turn 8, but once the speed builds up, you can see what the true gap is. There's Momo weaving back and forth. Nice move going into the chicane. Team Momo still outside of the points, however, and they lose that position as soon as I say it. The only team scoreless thus far as we are on the final lap. Red Eye can bound off the walls all at once. Easy win for Red Eye over Snowy and Yeller at the Aquamaring. Nereid willed on over the line by the home fans who are disappointed. They came in with such hope. You could see them cheering and dancing in the stands ahead of time. This is as close as they got. And Marble of the Day, perhaps unsurprisingly, it is Snowy. Several were good contenders for Marble of the Day today, but Snowy put up the fight, had some excellent strategy, built the speed when needed, and then was able to hold on at the end, did not waste all of the energy early and then tumble back through the order. No, it was a sustained effort. And here you can see that duel back and forth. Red Eye over the line, gets the win. And that is the second time in 3 visits to the Aquamaring that Red Eye has stood atop the podium. Did it for the first time back in Season 2. Unable to do it last year. Congratulations to our top 3. But what does this do to the championship standings? We'll have to take a peek, but 25 points go to Crazy Cat's Eyes, and to Red Eye in particular, 21 to the Snowballs, aided by that extra point from the fastest lap. Cats have taken the top spot, 81-75 over the Hazers. Mellow Yellow, they are up 6. Snowballs jump another one. Here in the racer standings, now that everybody has raced twice apiece, it is Red Eye over Smoggy, Cloudy, Yeller, and Bumble. At the top, looking down at the bottom of the order, it is Mimo and Remus. Still scoreless. Momo did score one, however, and jumped a position as a result. Congratulations, Team Momo, now no longer with a goose egg. Next race, we head back to Greenstone. The Brace Isles are known for many things in the marble world, including the Green Ducks. The most successful rookie team in Marble League history has been a part of Marbula One since the beginning. It's always been Billy and Mallard combined for 9 podiums. Billy, 3 of those are wins. And here in this beautiful location, the team has crafted this excellent circuit known as Greenstone. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. It's the 3rd time we have come to this iconic venue. Past winners include Orion and Swifty, and this track that has undergone some changes since the first time we came here, and even since the second time as well, showed us yesterday in qualifying that it knows how to race. If you know how to race, or if you want to learn, the Hyperloop set is the way to do it. Race Jelle's way, learn the intricacies of marble racing, try several different formats on a track that you can design and craft and build your way however you want with whichever marbles you please. All 32 of the teams are included in the collector set that comes with the Hyperloop. Check it out, yellesmarbleruns.com. And if you just want to be decked out wherever you go, I know you can't carry a marble run with you all the time. Well, you can carry a sweatshirt on your back, or one of the jerseys, or any number of the options for merch that you can find on the store. Taking a look at our starting lineup, it is Club and Razzie at the back of the field. Then comes the Green Ducks Hope with Mallard, Siren next, Shimmer and Cloudy. Starting behind Starry and Snowstorm. Diego and past winner Orion, just missing out on the top 10. Yeller and Remus, Meepo and Bumble. On the outside of row 3, Ember starting next to Momo. Row 2, it is Swifty, last race winner in Season 4, and then Eve. Pinky Rosa starts second behind Yellow Eye, who will be on pole. And we're rolling. Yesterday, Yellow Eye did not get the greatest start, and it's happened again. Yellow Eye has tumbled down the order to 5th or 6th. And starting off in the lead is Pinky Rosa. Eve, holding in second place, shoots through the chicane in the split and takes first place. Yellow Eye has recovered, just like we saw in qualifying. Tries to make the double move and does just before the right-hander of the backstretch. Yellow Eye has retaken the lead and will be P1 on lap number 1. It's a narrow margin, however. Eve is lockstep, but doesn't get quite as good a launch coming off of the conveyor belt. Yeller in 3rd. That was a really good start for Yeller, who moves up into 2nd place as they come around that long right. Eve goes to the inside of the split, but can't hold it through the snaking turns that have been reprofiled since the last time we were here in season number 4. This was a very technical track. You go back to season 1, 23 turns to contend with. Yeller captured fastest lap that time and is getting ever closer to Yellow Eye. 25.35 is the time. Eve in 3rd, passed by Pinky Rosa, Swifty in 5th, Meepo, Bumble, Shimmer, Momo, and Mallard, who has come up into the top 10. If you heard some extra cheering and extra quacks, that is because the Green Ducks hopeful is right there. Going to the inside. Nice move by Pinky Rosa down the backstretch, but they'll be side by side coming off of the conveyor belt. Yellow Eye in clean air is able to reset fastest lap as Yeller takes P2. Bumble back there in 4th is getting closer, looking racy as we've gone through this first sector. Swifty is also right behind Meepo as they come through that fast turn. Into the banked section. Choose the side of the split, whatever side you want, but we've seen several marbles go over that attenuator and almost hurt Yellow Eye in qualifying. Speaking of whom, still holding in the top spot. Yeller in 2nd, Pinky Rosa in 3rd. Those two are battling. very close together, and now some separation, but nobody's able to catch up to Yellow Eye thus far. At the back of the pack, Club is still in dead last, and it's Cloudy, Remus, Siren, and Ember. Origin fallen all the way back to 15th, and Mallard in 14th now gains 1 spot. Looking at the marbles weaving as they come down that backstretch. It's a good view. And Swifty in a battle with, actually getting ahead of Bumble. Up into 4th. Swifty is doing pretty well. Several marbles struggling to get onto the conveyor belt. Swifty has gained yet another spot and is now knocking on the door of the podium. And gets by. Goes to the outside. Close the door on Pinky Rosa. I thought a move was going to be made. Instead, Bumble tries it and can't get it done. Going to the outside. Not there. Swifty able to cover both of them. Bumble in 4th, 2-3 steps behind Swifty. Yellow Eye still holds fastest lap. Yeller in 2nd. Then a bit of space between the 1st and 2nd place marbles, and then back to 3rd place Swifty, who's checking over the shoulder every once in a while to see where Bumble is. Pinky Rosa trying to ride those curbs and get a nice launch down that straightaway. Tell you who did make a nice move there, it was Origin. Unfortunately, that's back for 18th. Yellow Eye's lead, over 3.5 seconds. Swifty in 3rd, Pinky Rosa, Bumble, Shimmer, Meepo, Diego, Eve, and Snowstorm. Mallard holding in 12th. Urging that marble, the fans are, to get up there into the top 10. It's been a nice little climb. Still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Marbles really settling in now. You can see some single file running. Some of them saving energy, getting ready to mount a challenge in the second half of this race. Getting down to only the final 4 or 5 laps left. Yellow Eye still in the lead. That gap has stayed fairly steady for the last maybe 2 laps. Yeller, Swifty, Pinky Rosa all staying where they are. Back of the pack, there's Remus getting by Razzie. That was a nice move, and that is a pretty bunched up grouping of marbles. Look at all of them shouldering into each other and trying to stay off of the wall. Up front, the lead has come down. It's about 2 seconds by my eye, fluctuating back and forth. Now Yellow Eye, perhaps sensing that that gap is closing, is trying to get the power down and get away. Meepo takes 4th, and look at the battles continuing. We get team radio from Starry, who said that they just hit Origin. Team not too concerned, just saying keep your head down and keep going. Starry right now, who was up in 11th position, has fallen all the way back to 18th. Meepo resets fastest lap. And the Cobalt's representative wants a podium perhaps as well. Sitting in 4th right now. Look at the lead up front. Yellow Eye must have struggled and had a mistake. Yeller goes to the inside. Gets it done. Takes the lead from Yellow Eye. The team urging that marble to get it back. Let me focus, Yellow Eye says. The gap is only 400ths, and we've got 2 laps to go. Yellow Eye was passed at the beginning of this race. It was not a wire-to-wire victory up until that point, even if Yellow Eye had survived. Lost the lead here, but gets it back. Made that one look easy, actually. And it may have caught Yeller off guard because this is opening the door to Swifty. Yeller so focused on getting by Yellow Eye, and Swifty is creeping into the picture. But running out of time, the final lap has begun. Yellow Eye had perhaps been managing the gap and managed a bit too much, but has now got it back pointed in the right direction. Yeller throwing into the corners. This is where Yeller was close last time, but not as close. Down the backstretch they come. For the final time, Yellow Eye's gonna hold it over the line. Yellow Eye wins at Greenstone, fending off Yeller. Swifty comes all the way up to 3rd. Snowstorm 4th, Meepo in 5th, and Meepo captures fastest lap. And cheekily says, hopefully that didn't upset Yellow Eye, who is used to fastest laps. On the other side of things, a bit of despair at Team Momo, saying we need to figure something out. Thus far, it's not worked well for Team Momo. Waiting for Marble of the Day, and it is Yeller. A marble that has captured yet another podium and had to do it in dramatic fashion. There was contact, excellent battles, briefly took the lead right here, but could not hold it all the way to the end. But still, Jelle will take the points. Just don't know if they had enough left in the tank, even if we had gotten another couple of laps to try to challenge Yellow Eye. Still, it would have been fun to see. Congratulations to our podium finishers. Celebrating up there after a rather tiring Greenstone. This track always known as a technical venue, and it definitely played out that way today. Marbles really having to focus for a while, taking their attention off of the battles at hand and really trying to get into a rhythm, and once they did that, the racing opened itself back up again. 25 points to Yellow Eye, Yeller 20 and Swifty 18. That should help in the team standings. And with pole position also getting them 3 points, that is 2 weekends in a row that Crazy Cat's Eye have netted 28. Nobody's done the 29 that the Hazers did in round number 1, but our top 5 remain the same. Indigo Stars and Midnight Wisps are climbing up the order, and after the next round, we may also get a look at the individual standings once everybody else has raced an even number of times, if it does shake out that way. Well, regardless, Greenstone gave us another good one, and it helps to paint this picture that is coming into focus of what this season of Marbula One will be. The constellation Orion contains 2 of the brightest stars in the night sky, but many look to the 3 at its belt, Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka, and use them as wayfinding to other stars and constellations like Sirius or Taurus. Those 3 stars are actually 10. They're multi-star systems, at least 2 of them are. But we turn our attention not to the heavens, but to this track that is shaped like the hunter himself. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods, and for the first time we come to the home of the Indigo Stars, the Orion's Belt Circuit. We saw some great racing in the 3-lap shootout yesterday in Q2, but we saw some surprises first in Q1. Up at the front of the pack, will Red Eye, our pole sitter, be the hunted, or will somebody from farther back in the pack be the hunter? Let's run through the starting grid at the back. Yellow, next to Clementon, Radiance, and Sheep. Diamond and Pinky Panther in 16th and 15th. Indy for the Indigo Stars with a lot of hopes resting on that marble, alongside Smoggy. Snowy and Quasar. Stinger and Ruzzy bring us inside the top 10. Billy for the Green Ducks, and Mimo, who put in a very good lap, as did Amaya, but couldn't turn it into a pole position. Next to Nerid, Speedy and Cerulean in row 2. And up front, it is Glimmer starting next to pole sitter Red Eye, who was sitting in 3rd and 4th spot halfway through the final lap before acing the banking and taking pole once again. Red Eye trying to assume the lead of the championship now that all these marbles will have raced 3 times. And we're rolling, and it's a bad start for Red Eye. He got hung up on the starting gate briefly. Oh, and Red Eye's still up there. Red Eye is stuck. Oh my goodness, drama in the championship for what seemed like an easy win. Red Eye is stuck higher up on the course trying to get going, and if not, we're going to have a safety marble. It's a virtual safety marble right now. Not really sure what caused that marble to stop, but Red Eye is not very happy. Let's see, the field will probably sweep that marble away. Yes, indeed, we are back to green again. Pleading for that safety marble so that they did not lose a lap. But instead, it is Speedy who leads this Grand Prix. A huge opportunity opened. Glimmer in 2nd place, Sheep has come up to 3rd, Mimo 4th, Indy from Indigo Stars up to 5th. In all of the chaos of the first lap, so many big movers. The fastest lap goes to Speedy, 23.42. But it's a challenge right away coming off the conveyor belt, and Speedy does not handle it well. Drops back to 6th. Sheep takes the lead, but is struggling through the banking here. Glimmer drafts around the outside, has a much easier time. That banking can really make or break your lap. Smoggy in 3rd. Indy in 4th. Now loses a spot as Mimo gains 2. Billy, Amaya, Quasar, and Pinky Panther rounding out the top 10. Glimmer and Sheep watching each other as they come out of that very slow hairpin that starts this lap. Speed builds up, and then they enter this banking, which you cannot take too haphazardly or too cautiously. Sheep goes around the outside and takes the lead from Glimmer. Now moves to the outside, contact between them. Glimmer looks to the inside, but has to stay in 2nd place as they come across the line, up the conveyor belt. Red Eye is mired in the pack, 1 lap down. You can see Red Eye in the midst of right there in that pack. Up front, Sheep is having an easy time. Smoggy in 2nd is getting closer. There goes Glimmer, who had lost the position to Smoggy. Retakes 2nd place. Now immediately goes on the defensive. Mimo is battling with Billy. Speedy is also right in that mix. Then it's a little gap back to a big pack in the middle of the field. Coming up the conveyor belt one more time. Let's see how they stretch out. They're getting the handle on how to release from the conveyor belt, but the top 3 have come together. Smoggy got the lead and is now being cheered on the radio. Sheep and Glimmer bounding up and down the curbs, overtaking each other. And now Billy puts the elbows out and gets by into 3rd, wanting to hold on to a podium that they were not expecting to have an opportunity to get. New fastest lap now goes to Smoggy from the Hazers at a 22.96. Smoggy's lead, just under a 2.5 seconds. Speedy getting passed by Sheep as they come down through the S's. Into the banking. A little hop. Coming off of it was Glimmer. Exiting into the 2nd half of this course. It really builds up speed after you exit turn 11 through 12, 13, 14, and then that slight kink right there through 15 as you see in the center of your screen. Smoggy's lead is looking pretty stable here. Still maintains fastest lap. If anything, the lead has grown. Billy, Sheep, Cerulean, and Indy are very close together. The Indigo Stars fans are happy with a top 10 finish, but they would love a top 5. That would be huge for Indy. Given how the season has gone so far, it's been up and down. But after 2 weekends off, Indy is ready to come back, rested, and hoping to mount a challenge as this race enters its 2nd half. Looking farther down the order from Smoggy, it is Glimmer. Sheep in a battle right there. They briefly went side by side through the banking. That got Sheep out of sorts and let Billy by into 3rd. Indy is in 5th. Nerid, Snowstorm, Speedy has fallen to 8th. Cerulean and Diamond. Then it's Quasar, Pinky Panther, Radiance, Amaya, Ruzzy, Clementon in a battle there, along with Stinger, Mimo, Yellow, and then Red Eye is a lap down. Still in the mix, however, but is getting out of the way and letting most of the marbles pass. Does not want to interfere with this race, is settled into the fact that nothing can change what happened at the start. I'm sure we'll get a replay of it as well to try to analyze, but it looked like they just got caught coming off of the start line. Now with just a few laps to go, Smoggy's lead, about what it has been, very managed in this pace. Glimmer is in 2nd with a bit of padding over Billy. Indy has moved up into 4th. Let's see if Sheep will let that marble get off into the distance and challenge for a podium. Taking a look at Ruzzy at the back of the field. The last marble on the lead lap. And Red Eye has just retaken fastest lap. Stolen it away from Smoggy, 22.62. And they let Smoggy know on the radio, letting them know gap behind is about 7/10. Smoggy wants that fastest lap back. I think the team is more content just to drive safe and get the win. Smoggy's lead, 2 seconds, almost even. Glimmer also being told, no heroics, just bring it home. Glimmer really wants to get up there for the win. They do not want to see that marble race with reckless abandon because it's opening the door to Billy. Redeye is now making a move with some newfound speed. But let's see if it ends up getting anybody out of sorts in the final stages of this race. Billy did not lose any positions, but Speedy has come up through the order, is now in 4th, gotten in front of Indy, whose chances for a podium, it seems like, have all but disappeared. Smoggy through the S's for the final time. Our first time here at Orion's Belt. Glimmer in 2nd. A gap back to Billy, who now has Redeye in between Glimmer and Billy. Smoggy out of the final turns. Will slide on through and take the win at Orion's Belt. Redeye still not happy that nobody got penalized or even investigated for the start. Got fastest lap, but finished in last. Smoggy leading the championship now, told over the radio. Let's see, what happened there? I think the incident had really already happened at that point. Marble of the day is Smoggy. You can see at the start, look at how far back in the pack Smoggy was, but right there, making 2-3 positions up in consecutive corners. Well, it was not a wire-to-wire for Smoggy. That marble had to work for it. Here in the banking, gaining spots. Excellent launches off the conveyor belt. Race management. That was superb. Well, Smoggy had also been off for 2 weekends in a row after a 2nd and a 3rd place finish in rounds 2 and 3 of the championship. But with that disaster for Redeye, who had been all but expected to take the championship lead away from Jelle, now that all marbles have raced 3 times, 2 wins in 2 races. Instead, it turns into a 20th place. Hazers are thrilled. That should also help them in the team championship as well. They've been sitting in 2nd, but they scored a 0 last round. It was a 2-second win, starting from 13th on the grid. How about Indy coming up from 14th? Wolfpack came up from 17th. Crazy Cat's Eyes do still hold the lead right now, thanks in part because of the pole position that got 3 points, plus the 1 for fastest lap, nets them 4 on the weekend. Hazers still holding in 2nd, though. And Smoggy has officially jumped Redeye by 6 points, and now has a full palette of color medals from standing atop each step of the podium. Oh, we've got some orange down there. That means they can no longer win the Marbula One Championship, but they can still podium. Looks pretty dire for Yellow, Clementon, and both of Team Momo. Well, we're in the second half of the Marbula One season. The script is coming into focus just before we head into the mist. There's always something eerie when we come to Misty Mountain. Just being here, the altitude, the mystery, where are we? It all comes together to create a certain ambiance that is pretty hard to replicate anywhere else in the world. It was a good trip up here this time, however. The monks that guided us, they were very kind. They even gave us a holiday concert. Unfortunately, the monks took a vow of silence. It was an awkward 35 minutes. Well, in the home of the Hazers, Misty Mountain is a short track, 15-second lap times. But those corners can give us a lot of variability. We saw that in qualifying with the spread of the lap times. Will we see it with the spread in the race? The Hazers fans are right at home and thriving up here, whether they're sitting in the stands or behind those rocky crags. Who knows what your vantage point might be, and who knows when the mist might roll in next. Don't forget also about the Skyway Chase. It's what started all of this. Check it out. You can build it. It's dual purpose. Kids absolutely love it. And it's a whole different set of challenges as well. Well, we're about to see also totally different set of challenges on the track. Nerid and Momo at the back as we work our way through the grid. Cerulean and Eve. Indy, our last runner from yesterday, and Remus. Stinger, whose teammate Swax got fastest lap here in Season 3 next to Pinky Panther. Snowstorm and Yellow Eye for the championship leading Crazy Cat's Eyes. Glimmer and Diamond. Radiance and Speedy. In 6th, Billy for the Green Ducks. Quasar, who got fastest lap back in Season 4. Yeller and Clementon, who won this race and got pole in Season 4. And Ruzzy next to our pole sitter and hometown marble, Cloudy. And we're rolling. I'm surprised they could even see through the mist at the starting gate. It's not a great start for our pole sitter. Ruzzy has gotten by, but now loses out before they even get to the drop. Cloudy comes right back. And this marble knows this track well. Will that marble thrive in these conditions too? Pinky Panther getting over the radio already on the first lap, saying horrible visibility out here. The mist is thick in places. Certain sectors seem to be affected more than others. And Stinger nails the drop. Excellent speed coming down the backstretch. Same thing with Speedy, who has taken the lead. Also got fastest lap. We've added a lap, by the way. This was an 18-lap race last time out. Now it's 19 this year. Speedy and Stinger dueling up front. There comes Cloudy. That's a great line. Down the backstretch, nearly nose to tail the top 3. Into the 3rd sector and around the final turn. Will they be one step apart as they come up the conveyor belt? It appears that way. Stinger bumps into the wall. That opens the door. Cloudy tried to get that launch off the conveyor belt and could not do it. Still has to settle for 3rd. Stinger weaving, trying to keep Speedy behind. That marble just wants to uncork and go off into the distance and will be first off the belt at the end of this lap. Off they go. Cloudy jumps into 2nd. Has a go at Speedy, but it's not there. Put that marble out of sorts as they come into that turn, and right out of the drop, Speedy sees Cloudy fired from a cannon and will now have to contend with the hazers to start the next lap. 2/10 between them. Who gets the better launch? Well, that was hard into the wall for Cloudy. That lost a lot of time. Eve has come up into 3rd spot, gotten by Stinger, who is now under pressure from Billy. Ruzzy, who was up in 2nd place, has now fallen all the way back to 6th. Yellow Eye is up 4, up to 7th. Speedy, Stinger, Cloudy over the line. Billy into 4th now. Looking farther back in the pack, it is still Cerulean at the tail of the field. Good under move there by Cloudy. But once again, acceleration out of those turns has not been a forte. Eve goes up into 2nd for the Midnight Wisps. Here comes the haze. The mist is thickening in the middle portion of this track. We're also nearing the halfway point of this Grand Prix. New fastest lap goes to Indigo. Stars Indy. Billy gaining slightly as they come down the backstretch. With all of that speed, you have to wonder how the marbles are taking those turns as the mist gets thicker. I'm not sure we've had a Grand Prix here at Misty Mountain where the haze really sets in and nearly disrupts the race. We saw it almost as a power boost in qualifying. It gave Cloudy seemingly some extra speed, and here it comes again. Cloudy around the outside of the banking through the double right-hander. Says goodbye, and let's see if that gap will grow. En route to the lead, Cloudy sets a new fastest lap at a 15.22, and look at the gap already. Who is looming in the background behind Speedy? It is Yellow Eye. Not a great qualifying, and we saw the streak of excellent finishes for Crazy Cat's Eyes snapped last race when Red Eye was caught at the start. Cloudy resets fastest lap again, goes into the 14s. Speedy peeking over the shoulder. That is a brief moment of respite that you have in the first portion of this track, and then it gets twisty, and you have to set yourself up for the drop. As we have seen, if you get that wrong, it can be catastrophic. Yellow Eye battling with Billy coming off the conveyor belt. Has a go at Speedy. Couldn't get it done there. Now looks to the outside. Speedy blocks. Weaving down that backstretch again. That's an effective move, but not through the turns as much. Yellow Eye had that spot, albeit momentarily. Down into the final third of this Grand Prix. A raucous crowd on top of this mountain. Yellow Eye tried to go to the outside. Speedy put down the block and there was contact. And now Yellow Eye seemingly has dispatched the Savage Speeders. And Speedy comes right back. A much better exit coming over the starting line and back into P2. Yellow Eye down the backstretch once again. Positioned well into the drop, but Speedy, better acceleration through the third sector. The lead up front, by the way, is 2.6. Cloudy is attempting to make the Hazers the first two-time winners here at Misty Mountain. Speedy, Yellow Eye, that battle continuing. There you see Clementon, a former race winner 2 seasons ago, mired down in 14th, but does get that spot for 13th. Lots of marbles in the middle of the field, very close together. That gap between Speedy and Yellow Eye being managed at the moment. There we got a brief look at Cloudy coming over the finish line. This is farther back in the pack. That's Radiance and Diamond who are getting close to each other. Yeller confirming that visibility is dropping. Not even sure it's still on track in some corners. Look at how close this is. Stinger had gotten up there, disrupted the battle. Yellow Eye went backwards. Oh, Clementon very, very slow off of that drop. The gap is up to 3 seconds now. So then it's Speedy, Stinger. Billy has gotten by Yellow Eye too. Indy is up to 6th. Ruzzy falling back to 7th. Eve, who was in the top 2 or 3, has now gone down to 8th. Cerulean with an excellent climb from dead last, now up to 8th spot. There is Clementon continuing to drop, back to 14th. We've started the final lap. The crowd here on pins and needles. This is a big gap. Cloudy can celebrate now. Teammate Hazy won at Misty Mountain in Season 2. Cloudy wins it at home in Season 6. Thrilled on the radio. It is not an absolute grand slam because Cloudy did not lead every single lap. But pole, fastest lap, and race win. And did Cloudy just get Marble of the Day? Who else could it be? A win at home, it seems like in not just Marbula One, but Marble League and elsewhere. We talk about the host curse so often. Are the Hazers impervious to it when they are up here on this Magic Mountain? I don't know if it was magic necessarily that gained the win because Cloudy raced this track with precision. Not very often we see that level of domination from the home team. Props to Speedy, came up through the field. Same with Billy. There were some marble movers today. Celebrate on the podium. And soak this in as we heard on team radio to the Hazers. By that team's math, they have taken over the lead in the championship standings. Look at everybody jumping back and forth. As the mist begins to clear just slightly, we see 26 points for Cloudy. That's on top of 3 more for getting pole. The math is true. Hazers, by 4 points, lead the Crazy Cat's Eyes in the standings. With just a few rounds to go, Savage Speeders up into 3rd. Snowballs are up there as well. Green Ducks jumped up 4. Now we get a look at the racer standings. Everybody has raced 4 times now. And it is Yellow Eye leading the way. Ruzzy up 9, Diamond up 5. Nemo still the only marble yet to score. And we're starting to see some red on the board. Marbles that cannot win or podium. Some that still can podium but cannot win. Next up, we head back to the Electron Expressway. I'll see you there. For the fourth time, Marbula One comes to the Electron Expressway, a place that encourages you to break out of your shell, savor in the electrically charged atmosphere. But you won't find a lot of negativity here. This is the land of the Cobalts, and we're here not just with their fans, but all of the other Marble fans and all of your favorite Leptons, too. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. This track has a certain charm to it. Question is, what kind of race will we get? Will it be a dynamic one? Will it be a strange one? Who will be moving up and down the field? Who will rise to the top or settle to the bottom? We're about to find out in a marble land that has seen a lot of ups and downs over time, but most recently a big up with the Marble League. That's a press conference, by the way, that is just wrapping up as they get ready to make their way to the grid. Smokey, the coach of the Cobalts, introducing the new team member who is replacing the retiring Azure. It's Lapis. Rep the Cobalts if that's your team. Also got just about everybody else there as well. If you're also just a fan of Marbula One, you've got those purists that just love the racing, we see you. We can take care of you as well. Looking at the starting grid, it's the Solar Flares Ember at the back next to a lowly qualified Swifty, Shimmer, and Mimo in 18th and 17th respectively. Big Shock exit in Q1 was Red Eye, starting down in 16th next to Sheep. Club and Pinky Rosa for the Pinkies, who are really struggling this season, would love to get some traction. Yellow and Siren, Amaya and Starry. Origin and Bumble in 8th and 7th. Mallard, a former pole position winner and fastest lap setter, and Snowy, Diego, and Meepo for the hometown Cobalts in 3rd, and up front it's Razzie starting next to Smoggy, as we are just about ready to get this one going. And we're rolling. Bit of a long hold in the gate, but Smoggy gets away. Razzie tries to go to the inside, but is pinched off and can't get by. Smoggy laying down some blocks. Diego up in 3rd spot. Oh, and now hard onto the curbs. Razzie tumbling down the order, down to 7th. Smoggy still out in front. Mimo in 2nd, trying to catch that draft as they go through the banking. Starry comes through into 3rd. That's a former race winner from the first time we visited this circuit back in season number 3. Also got pole position that year. Smoggy's lead, half a second over Mimo. Razzie has come back up into 3rd, make that 2nd. Taking the first sector in stride and is now cutting into that lead for the Hazers. Mimo, Diego getting past into 3rd spot. Siren up into 5th. Starry falling back to 6th, but positions changing all the time. Razzie trying to get a handle on Diego through the banking, can't do it, but a better exit down to that last turn, and off they go. Mimo had trouble getting onto the conveyor belt. We've got a new fastest lap, that is Diego. Smoggy, only a few lengths in front of Razzie, not letting that marble get comfortable at all. Partly the strategy to see if they can force a mistake. Diego, Starry, Mimo, very close. Siren, a bit of a gap back. Pinky Rosa, Club, Snowy. Meepo falling down to 12th for the Cobalts. That's a bit surprising. Big burst of speed coming off of the conveyor belt. Starry hits Razzie and catapults that marble forward. Then Smoggy misses the entrance for the conveyor belt. Radio's in. A bit of an apology there. Smoggy falling all the way back to 6th. Razzie now trying to get a gap over Starry, who also won this race in Season 4. Finally took Red Eye to break that streak of Starry victories. Razzie coming up the belt. Smoggy still struggling with that belt. Team sounds like they are strategizing on the pit wall. Mind the gap to Red Eye. They are thinking about the championship standings over the course of this, and Red Eye has come all the way up from 16th, now to 5th. The official guidance from the pit wall, be careful. Wow, it's deep. Razzie, Swifty up into 2nd place, by the way, in the radio drama. Missed Swifty coming up from 19th to 2nd and challenging for the lead. This could be an all-time race for Swifty if they can pull it off. Fastest lap in hand, Starry behind with sights set on Razzie ahead. Weaving to continue that draft. That was trouble for Starry. Lots of marbles. Struggling to get onto the conveyor belt. There's so much happening in this race. If you blink, the mistake has been made and you will be punished for it. Looking farther down the order, Pinky Rosa has fallen down to 17th. Mallard has dropped as well, down to 13th. Nemo, who was up toward the front, has fallen to 14th. Meepo climbed back up into the top 10, hoping to continue marching forward. Swifty, does that marble have anything left to try to capture this win over Razzie? Struggling to stay up there as Snowy is now challenging for P2 and has it through sector number 1, but look at who is looming. Red Eye in 4th. Now Snowy having to defend after just resetting fastest lap. Razzie's lead is not very much. Red Eye on the podium now as Swifty is starting to fall. Great move by Snowy coming off of that final turn. New fastest lap has been reset. It's by Starry down in 7th. Razzie now having to defend against Red Eye, who is relentless. Now they get a bit of separation. Razzie to the inside. Contact. Snowy rides the curbs and carries that speed and is able to stay in front. Excellent defense. Creative curbing by Snowy. We now begin lap 10. It is still anybody's race. We have seen that there is no starting position on this track that precludes you from being in the hunt to win. Snowy, much better line down that backstretch. Razzie was struggling. That lets Red Eye come ever closer. Swifty is still hanging in 4th. You have to wonder if that marble has any energy left. Just trying to hold that position. They'd be happy with the points. Team radio. No more radio for the rest of the race, Razzie tells them after they compliment that marble on the defense. That marble has their hands full with Red Eye, who gets by and slingshots down the backstretch. Second place for Red Eye. A winner here 1 season ago. Back then it was Snowy who got pole position. Fastest lap actually went to Clementon, who's not even racing. It's Origin this time, down in 16th. No fastest lap to be seen thus far. Meepo has fallen to 13th. Pinky Rosa down to 19th. Nemo down to 15th. Siren dueling with Bumble gets up into 8th spot. The lead up front for Snowy is 0.3 of a second. Then it's Red Eye, Razzie, Swifty, Smoggy, Diego, Starry, Siren, Bumble, and Mallard. Amaya in 11th, just falling out of the top 10. Red Eye has taken the lead and is trying to disappear. Red Eye's challenge has been met. A low qualifying, a slow and steady increase throughout this race now sees Red Eye leading on the final lap. Can Razzie get back by? The lead is coming down. Snowy in 3rd. Smoggy has climbed back up to 4th. Swifty in 5th. Red Eye down to the hairpin. 3rd sector to go. Through the chicane, Razzie's got to get going. Red Eye through the banking cleanly. Around the final turn, Red Eye wins it for the 2nd year in a row, coming from 16th on the grid. Snowy captures fastest lap on the final lap to go 2nd. Razzie in 3rd. Meepo for the home team in 10th, and Ember comes through in last. Listen to the happy humming. Marble of the day, well, who else could it be, really? It would have been Swifty if that marble could have kept up there and maybe gotten the race win. But coming from a similarly low grid position, Red Eye able to convert into a win. The storied history of the Crazy Cat's Eyes flagship marble continues to build. And we'll now get a look after this one, as the bean counters are busy, to determine where everybody sits in the standings. Just 2 rounds remain in the Marbula One World Championship. Congratulations to our podium finishers. Lots of flashing lights, lots of energy, always to be found at the Electron Expressway, a track that has shown you can pass wherever, you can start from wherever, and it always gives us a dynamic event. Snowy picks up an extra point for fastest lap, but 25 goes to Red Eye. What does this do for the team standings? The Cats are back in front. 150 to 147. This has been a great battle with the Hazers throughout. Bit of a gap back to everybody else. Red Eye has jumped 3 and now leads the Racers standings. Everybody having competed 4 times, but it's just a single point. Look at all the red. Cannot win or podium. There was some orange there as well. They can't win, but they can still make it on the top 3 steps. Well, the other 2 steps, that is, of the podium. We go from a familiar track in Electron Expressway to a new track for the next race. It's Castle Howl. No idea how that one's going to play out, but from the ethereal quantum glow, we bid you adieu. Until next time, so long, everyone. Nearly everyone who grows up in the nearby village of Fairbanks, Pawlaska, has heard the legends about Castle Howl. Although no one truly knows when the structure was built or why, few could have envisioned in playing a central role in welcoming Marbula One to what is now the home of the Wolfpack. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. 4 marbles that grew up around here racing in the snow. They took on the Iditarod, dominated it, and then found their way to the premier class of marble competition. It's why we come to this circuit as the fog lifts and the fans, the pack in the stands, ready for what they hope will be a good home race and potentially a championship decider. Be sure to show off your team swag as well. That Team Wolfpack gear looking pretty sharp. Maybe it's just that feeling in the air. Taking a look at the starting grid for the first ever Castle Howl Grand Prix. It's Nerid and Swifty at the back. There is Sheep, the representative for the Wolfpack, next to Starry, Orangin, and Pinky Panther. Indy and Momo in 13th and 14th respectively. Then comes Ember, starting behind Yeller. Glimmer in the top 10, next to Yellow Eye, a former pole sitter back at Greenstone. Billy and Eve. Razzie and Diamond on the 3rd row. Row number 2, Stinger and Smoggy. And starting up front, it is Meepo, along with the 7th different pole sitter in 9 races. It's Snowstorm. And we're rolling. Meepo gets the better getaway and takes the lead as they come into the first turn. Through the ear they go, and it's Smoggy looking to the inside, who has taken 2nd place and wants 1st. Meepo, a bit surprised to be up in that position. Same with Diamond. Now the top 4 come together. They switch about, and it is Smoggy who takes the lead. Meepo goes to the outside, now the inside. Around the final turn, they'll be side by side, 1/100th of a second apart as they come off of the conveyor belt. A howl from Sheep farther back in the course, and that marble is working their way up, or at least trying to. They've made up 2 positions so far. Meepo claws back the lead. Diamond goes up into 2nd. Snowstorm has recovered and now takes P2. Here is Smoggy also mounting a bit of a recovery as they come around the final turn, swinging around and getting some space as they come up the conveyor belt. Somebody had some trouble getting onto it. How about Sheep? Up to 12th, now drops back down to 14th. Meepo into that turn. We're still coming up with the names for all of these. Perhaps this is the jaw. Maybe the last one was the snout before working through the mouth. We'll have to work on those. Maybe ask the home fans what they decide. Meepo, Snowstorm, then it's Billy who reset fastest lap, 19.22. Briefly had a look at 2nd place, but couldn't get it to stick. Meepo managing that gap up front. Fastest lap winner back at Greenstone, but has not won a race this season. Lots of battles in the mid-pack here. This racetrack is giving us some fantastic pack racing, perhaps unsurprisingly, in the land of the Wolfpack. To the ear they go. Here comes Billy. Door was shut. Snowstorm. A slight fade. Did not let that marble by. Yellow Eye is also looking for a podium position. Sizing up Billy and testing out some angles. Ember up into 5th. Diamond fall into 6th. Then it's Stinger, Smoggy, Orangin, and Eve rounding up the top 10. Billy continues to go faster, but is still stuck in 2nd place and might be losing that position to Snowstorm, and does. Meepo, quick check over the shoulder. Sees Snowstorm now getting ever closer. 5 lengths between them, and now they're going to be side by side. 16-lap race. We begin lap 7, and Snowstorm dispatches Meepo, who immediately loses the spot to Billy as well. The Green Ducks are hoping to get up into the top spot by shadowing Snowstorm. Through the hairpin they come. Those two are side by side through the final turn. Billy, after notching 2 fastest laps, the epitome of consistency, has the lead. You're flying, they say on the radio. Billy says, I'm feeling good. And it looks like it right now. Immediately building that gap. Snowstorm in 2nd. Meepo is in that fight as well with Yellow Eye. Those 3 marbles, not a lot of separation between them, and Meepo gets out of sorts. 2 spots gone in a couple of corners. New fastest lap, 18.70, quite a reset. That goes to Orangin, who has climbed all the way up into 5th. Orangin being hounded by Smoggy. Indy is not too far behind. Snowstorm in a battle with Yellow Eye, gets it back. No space between them. They couldn't radio in fast enough to congratulate that marble and then to tell him, hey, get that spot back. Oh wait, you did. This track comes at you so fast, the undulation of the turns, it really throws you in to the succeeding corner. That was trouble there, I think, for Eve, getting kicked on one of the curves. The lead up front is over a second for Billy. Then it's Snowstorm, Orangin in 3rd, Yellow Eye, Meepo, Smoggy, Indy. Eve gets by Indy, Swifty in 9th, and Razzie in 10th. Diamond has continued to fall down the order in 11th. Glimmer at the back of the field behind Momo. Sheep has fallen back to 18th. Billy's lead has come down. It has fallen precipitously. There is Snowstorm going to the inside through the castle and takes the lead away from the Green Ducks. We're in the final quarter of this race. Our first time ever visiting Castle Howl. Taking a look at Razzie, who also gets high up on those curves and weaves about. Snowstorm resets fastest lap. Yellow Eye feeling the pressure. We need to keep Smoggy behind, but Yellow Eye wants to focus on that podium position. Smoggy at the moment is also having to deal with Orangin, who is in between Yellow Eye and Smoggy's lost another spot. Meepo is climbing once again. Snowstorm in the distance. Billy and Yellow Eye are getting closer together now. There is Meepo, there is Orangin, Smoggy. The reason why they're saying that, by the way, championship implications. Only 4 teams have a chance of winning coming into this Grand Prix, and I have a feeling there's going to be even fewer when we come out of it. Up the belt. Another time, and it's Snowstorm and Billy. The lead has come down quite a bit. Billy is starting to press. Out of the hairpin. Who gets the faster exit? The Green Ducks are coming. Contact on the backstretch. We're going to head into the final lap. And it's Snowstorm and Billy dueling at the front. Snowstorm has it managed through the first sector. Through the gaping maw of the track. Into the 3rd sector. Snowstorm. Won back at Sparkle Central. Wins at the debut of Castle Howl. Billy comes 2nd, Yellow Eye 3rd, Meepo 4th, and Smoggy 5th.
Dashing through the
Well, Sheep did improve one spot to 17th. Marble of the day, it's Snowstorm. You had several that could have been in the running. Some great climbers, excellent duels at the front. But ultimately the winner had to do some work and earned that Marble of the day. So many crucial moments that once we get the official count from the officials, we'll have to see what that did in the hunt for both the individual championship and the team championship. Now, all of these marbles, they are done for the season. They have raced 5 times. They'll hand it off to their teammate to bring it home in the final round of Season 6 of Marbula One. So they're not just celebrating this Grand Prix, they are celebrating a season. They won't know how they finish relative to the other marbles, though, until 1 week from today. "26 points for Snowstorm, who not just won the race, but also got fastest lap. Billy and Yellow Eye on the podium. And let's see, for the team standings. The Cats, 1 and 2, that's it. Hazers and Crazy Cat's Eyes will go head-to-head in the final round to determine the winner. Smoggy versus Red Eye. They can still win it. Orange can no longer win, but can still podium. Oh boy, this is going to come right down to the end. That's exactly what you want out of a tournament like this, don't you? Castle Howl gave us a warm welcome, and it was a hoot. Look forward to coming back to this place again in the future. But up next, let's crown champions. All of the twists and turns of the Marbula One season through 9 rounds has led us to this exact moment, where one race will determine both the Racers champion and the team champion. It's Crazy Cat's Eyes versus the Hazers. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. Where do we sit thus far? Well, Smoggy and Yellow Eye sit atop the standings, but they're both done. They are leading Red Eye, who sits in 3rd. The only other marble that is active and competing is Cloudy from the Hazers. Cloudy, 30 points behind, so cannot win, but can help that team win the overall championship. And if you love the feel of drama, if you love the feel of setting up a championship and making it all come down to a single event, you can see that play out in your own home. Check out the Hyperloop set. Make your race. Let's see what the outcome is. You can do it through multiple types of formats. We'll include the tournament brackets in there, plus all 32 teams. YellowsMarbleRuns.com. Well, who will have the winning hand at the end of this one? And will you be feeling like you need some championship merch to go along with it? Let's take a look at our starting lineup. I know this lounge vibe kind of belies the drama that awaits. Radiance and Cerulean, Shimmer and Remus, Diego and Siren. For the home team, Blackjacks, Club in 14th, behind Mallard. Then it's Snowy and Quasar, Mimo and Yellow. Pinky Rosa in 8th. Amaya in 7th, Clementon and championship contender Red Eye, Speedy in 4th, Ruzzy in 3rd, and on the front row, Bumble starts alongside our pole sitter, Cloudy. That's 3 points to Cloudy's name, inching ever closer. And we're rolling in the Marbula One finale. And Cloudy is overtaken in the first 2 turns, but brings it right back over Bumble as they head into the banking for the first time. All eyes will be on those 2 championship contenders. Now they're going to go side by side, Amaya and Cloudy, as they head down to turn 11. No ramp here, just a long, meandering backstretch, and look at how tight everybody is. Red-Eye is stalking in 6th, ready to pounce. Marbles going side to side as they come up the conveyor belt for the first time. Just 5/100ths between them. Look at this train at the front of the field. As they run right now, Crazy Cat's Eyes would win the championship. Red-Eye would jump up into 2nd, but would not catch Smoggy. And it's changing by the instant. Amaya at the front. Quasar also gets by. That puts Cloudy back into 3rd. And Red-Eye has also fallen down the order into 8th. Gotta watch the difference between those 2 marbles. We know that Cloudy is a very capable racer, the only one who has gotten 29-point perfect weekends on 2 separate occasions. Quasar holds that fastest lap right now, though. Cloudy in 2nd place. Now gets passed by Mallard as they head down from turn 7. Down the backstretch there was contact with Clementon, who was sent backwards after coming together with Cloudy. Ruzzy takes fastest lap. This is a 13-lap Grand Prix, by the way. And we only have about 10 laps the end of this season. Quasar, Mallard, Ruzzy. There's Cloudy in front of Clementon. Shimmer, Pinky Rosa, Bumble, Club. Red-Eye has fallen to 10th. And Club has gone backwards as well. Was in the top 10 and has now fallen down to 11th. Cloudy retaken the lead. Perhaps saving a bit of energy, ready to mount that second attack, and Cloudy bounces off the conveyor belt right into Quasar. Lucky bounce there, because that sent Cloudy back onto the conveyor belt. And as they run right now, it's the Hazers Championship, and Cloudy would move up into P2. That'd be a Hazers 1-2 in the racer standings. Cloudy, Shimmer, Quasar, a bit of a gap back between the top 2. Then it's Clementon to Mallard. Ooh, several marbles really acing that sweeper chicane. As they run right now, Red-Eye has fallen out of the top 10. This is also a bit of a surprise because Red-Eye, 3 times a winner this season in 4 outings, and 2 of those were above 25-point efforts. Radiance being spurred on from the pit wall in dead last, really struggling. And this is going to be a long one. We are not even halfway through this race. Look at the speed as they come down the backstretch. That is a 3-marble battle. Mallard, Quasar, and Clementon. Up front, Cloudy gets off the conveyor belt well. Yellow holds fastest lap right now. So Cloudy does not really need it. Red-Eye has fallen to 14th. This is almost guaranteeing Cloudy a championship if they finish in this order. Now Red-Eye could snatch a point for fastest lap at some point during these final few laps, but it's not looking that way right now. Red-Eye does not seem to have the speed. Had a weekend off after a win back in round 8. Cloudy had 2 weekends off after a 29-point effort back in round 7. Cloudy leads Mallard. Then about 10, 15, growing lengths back to Ruzzy. Clementon trying to catch the draft as they come down the backstretch. Oh, there is the Savage Speeders getting out of sorts. That is way down the order. In 19th is Speedy. Red-Eye back up to 12th. Cloudy managing the gap out front. Right now it would still be a Hazers 1-2 in the racer standings. And look at Cloudy's gap now. Going side by side, Clementon and Snowy. Snowy gets by. And Cloudy has set fastest lap, 23.92. That pads the cushion. Would end up 1 point behind in the racer standings. Would need a maximum of 29 to get there. It'd be 95 to 94, Smoggy and Cloudy. The lead has come down just a little bit. In the top 2, looking farther back, Red-Eye has recovered up to 8th. That does narrow the gap. Only 3 laps to go. The field not really too strung out, and Red Eye has captured another. Watching for that marble. There off the curves. Mallard falling down. P6 is Red Eye. Getting very close to retaking what would be the championship lead. A second and a half plus for Cloudy. What would it do here? It's a 5-point gap right now. Hazers to Crazy Cat's Eyes. And no, Red Eye would not be up there. Would be 2 points shy. Oh, look at this drama right there. Multiple marbles. Oh, was that Bumble getting out of sorts? Bumble was shot offline and had to recover. Good poise by that marble to keep going. That could have been disastrous. Snowy is moved up into second spot, holding back Shimmer and Yellow. Cloudy, half a lap to go en route to a championship. Red Eye in sixth, desperately trying but loses a position to Mallard. Red Eye comes back. Here's Cloudy, a quick pick off of the wall. Cloudy recovers into Sector 3 in the final turns. Cloudy wins it. And with Red Eye finishing in sixth, Cloudy has brought the Hazers a championship. The Haze have amazed. 1 and 2 in the racer standings. And they have also just set the record for most number of points for a team in Marbula One history. Lots of radio messages going back and forth. Red Eye finishes in sixth. In a way, gives the plaudits to the Hazers. That was a key moment right there, the impact. And that misstep could have undone the race. Instead, fortuitous on the impact, no time to react, so they couldn't have predicted and planned for that. It's kind of a blind left-hand turn coming into it. But all that chaos leads us to this moment. I can see clearly now, the Haze have won. What an unbelievable season this has been. Cloudy does it again. 26 points today, plus 3 for pole yesterday. Another 29-point weekend. The third in 5 outings. Amazingly, Cloudy had a 0 back in round number 5. That was Greenstone, where Yellow Eye had won. Boy, what a different feel that point in the season was. By round 5, Crazy Cat's Eyes had won 3 of the races. But Cloudy already had one of those 29-point weekends and would follow it up in round 7 again. Wow, back and forth this went. The Cats seemed inevitable, but it did not turn out to be so. Smoggy and Cloudy stand atop the podium next to Red Eye. These marbles, the history between them goes back so far. Hazers, Crazy Cat's Eyes, and the Snowballs. We also heard Smokey came to congratulate the team. Of course, Smokey coached all 3, Hazy, Smoggy, and Cloudy in Marbula One overtime. And before we go, none of this would have been possible without all of you. Thank you for your support in every way. It is quite an effort to put these together and to bring this championship to you, but it is so worth it. Also, some shout-outs to the sponsors of the winning teams. Hero Vermel for Red Eye, Nick Giannini for Yellow Eye, Pablo Aguirre for Snowy, Ellie and Arlo Spencer for Snowstorm, Solaris 76 for Smoggy, and Nestor Custodio for Cloudy. Apologies if I butchered any of those names, but I'm still recovering after an incredible event, yet another one, here at Casino Square. The final standings in the racers, Smoggy, Cloudy, and Red Eye, just 2 points separating the 3 of them. Yellow Eye finishing in 4th, all the way down. Shimmer jumped up 12 after that one. Season to forget for Team Momo. Hazers and Cats 189 to 178. 4 wins apiece for each of those teams. But look at all of the pole positions and the fastest laps. And hey, can't forget about the Snowballs. What a season for them, too. They've always been there. They've also been consistent. Snowstorm had that perfect weekend back at Castle Howl. They deserve that 3rd place as well. And with that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been a fantastic season. For Yellow's Marble Runs, I'm Greg Woods. So long, everyone.